following episode contains spoilers for seasons 2 and 3 of the Squid Game. Hey everyone, welcome back to TV Guys, the show that recognizes the Squid Games are so easy, even a baby can win them. I'm Matt.
I'm Brian.
I'm Alex.
And we are hitting it now, talking about Squid Game. If you have existed in life over the last couple of years, you've heard of this. If you've been to a Halloween party in the last 3 years, you've seen this. Squid Game has been everywhere. If you've been on Fortnite, you've seen Squid Game. It's
Call of Duty.
everywhere.
Call of Duty.
Call
They
of
have the
Duty.
pink guys. I'm guessing the pink guards on there.
Yep. The guards are in the prisoners.
Yeah, this last season of Fortnite, they had like Squid Game games you could do, and it wasn't even just like because they've always had some creator stuff on there like that and Roblox and things like that. They've always had creator inspired things, but now this one was like by Epic Games. They did their own Squid Game stuff in there, so I mean they're really leaning into it. Which I mean, let's be honest, Fortnite is like a Hunger Games ripoff itself. So.
Oh yeah.
There was like a 2-year period where Charlie was obsessed with Fortnite, and so I played it with him during that time, but he's grown out of that now, and so I haven't played Fortnite in a while now.
Yeah, I played it for a hot second and then quickly dropped it. I'm getting too old. It's too intense for me. Can't keep up with the kids.
Yeah,
I do pretty well at it. I enjoy it, but it's like, you know, if you're playing in a season, you kind of got to play through the season. And then when you get to the end of the season, like, is this a drop off point? Because then I can leave that. Then I can leave it, or do I come in for the next season? I'm here for 2.5 more months. So
go every other.
Yeah, something like that. Well, we're not here to talk about Fortnite. We're here to talk about Squid Game, and this was one of those. Okay, we're calling this Squid Game season 2 and 3, and that's what the producers are calling it. But can we really call it what it is? Season 2, part A and part B.
Yeah,
because that's really what this season was.
It's like what Stranger Things does, but Stranger Things calls it 4A, 4B.
Yeah. It's like the final season of Breaking Bad. It's like the last, 2 seasons of Better Call Saul. It's like what Cobra Kai just did. I'm a little tired of this, if I'm being honest. Can we just do a whole season as a whole season?
Just adding 6 more episodes on like a year later. It's like, come on. Really?
Yeah.
And especially when it's a show that's like you're waning a little bit of interest, like Cobra Kai. I'm sorry, but Cobra Kai was that show for me. My interest was waning, and then it's like, oh, we've got 4 more episodes. I'm like, I don't care, Cobra Kai. I don't care about this.
To be honest, Matt,
did you watch it though?
I did. Yeah.
You did care. So you cared.
Well, I'll be honest though, Matt. If you hadn't said, "Hey, we should do an episode about Cobra Kai season, the final season," I probably wouldn't have watched it. I watched it because we were doing a podcast on it.
So we do this for you guys. This is for you.
You know how much TV
watching you.
You know how much TV I watch solely because of this podcast? It's a lot. We do stuff for you. So let us know if you appreciate it.
Most of that is great, and every now and then it's something like Knuckles, and you're like, I didn't need to know that show. You know?
Yeah.
It's not like Knuckles was bad. It just was whatever.
No, Knuckles completely wiped from my memory until you just said it. And I'm like, oh yeah, we did talk about Knuckles, didn't we?
Or the Santa Clauses show.
Are you just bashing on the shows your kids wanted to watch?
I didn't know either of those were TV shows.
Yes. What, Alex?
I said I didn't even know either of those were TV shows.
Yeah.
Yep, the Tim Allen Santa Claus, they did a TV show about it. And it's as good as you'd think it would be.
Okay, yep.
And Knuckles actually, like, if you like the Sonic movies, you'd probably like the Knuckles show.
I saw half of the first one. I saw the third one in theaters. So
it's not you go back to like, I really want to rewatch Knuckles, unless you're my son Jack, who does rewatch that. So all right, well, that's enough preamble because we need to get into the Squid Games. We need to talk about this. And so season 1 happened. It was great. Gi-hun survived. We're like, oh, good job, Gi-hun. Your hair is the color of Korean pop stars. And then he's like, wait a second. I've got to do more squidding in the games. And then he cuts to black, and they're like, we're going to get more Squid Games. And then, surprise, he has been looking for years and years and finally finds the Squid Games, goes back into it. We get seasons 2 and 3, and here we are. It's done. Korean Squid Games is over. We won't even talk about U.S. Squid Games quite yet. But what did you think? Seasons 2 and 3, how does it stack up?
I loved season 3 a lot. I feel like they drug quite a bit out of season 2. Like there's a lot of slow points in it. Took a while to get going, and then when you realize that it's not going to just end, like that's why they drug it out, because there's going to be a whole another half of this that they fill into 6 episodes. But overall, I did like it. But I remember watching season 2 and like telling my wife Alyssa that, because I really thought this was going to be the end of it. I'm glad they're going to kind of end it, because if they keep doing the same thing over and over again, people going in there, new games, it's going to get boring after a while. And then we finished season 3, and we're like, oh, well, they're going to spin it off to the U.S. version of it. So it's going to keep going.
Yeah.
I like that the pacing of it was off. I think they didn't need 2 full episodes till they got into the game. It wasn't until the third one that we're back in there. And also so many, it's like they always would start one of the games and get like partway into it, and the episode would end, and then the next episode would pick up.
Yep, they do it so it's late at night, and you just start the next episode. Well, we got to see what happens. We got to see the end of the game.
Yeah,
and they did the thing.
And they did it with season 1 too, because I remember the episode 2 of season 1 where it's like season 1 was like, oh, Squid Game, and then they're like, okay, now we're going to drop you back off in Korea, and we're going to see some of your backstory, and we're going to come pick you up, and if you want to come back into the games, you can. I didn't like that. I can understand why they did it, to help us understand the characters better, but it did feel like you're just like spinning your tires and not getting into what you want. So the same thing happened again. I think it was a little better this time, but still same idea.
I didn't think they needed to keep like making I feel like once you're in, you're in. Like no matter where you break the episodes, we're gonna keep watching it. So like just have an entire game. Have like game 2 be an episode. Have game 3 be an episode.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. That almost said something pretentious. I was gonna say I've read books. No, but like books will do that, right? You read chapter books, fiction books, and they'll be like, we've got to end each chapter on something to get you to keep turning the page. And every single time you're like, don't end there, but they know what they're doing. They understand it. It's not egregious. Everyone does it. Whatever. Yeah. There's other things to complain about, in my opinion. So bow to my wishes. Stop.
We're just always bowing to Matt now.
It is interesting because like a season where like you're going into the only familiar face for the most part is Gi-hun. I mean, you have the front man who you only saw his face for a little bit, and you have the cop, and then at the beginning you have the recruiter. Other than that, it's all fresh faces, and it's kind of a gamble because like we got to know all those characters from season 1 and love them really well. But I think they had enough. I mean, you could argue too many characters, but enough characters that there's someone that you're rooting for that's going to have the emotional depth.
Yeah. I think if we're giving just our overall impressions, I'm going to say overall positive for seasons 2 and 3. There's some nitpicks I've got that I'll talk about, and there's probably plenty of things that I can say negatively, but it doesn't mean I didn't like this season. But I do think that there's some fair criticisms to level at this, and I don't know if it's just because of how Koreans tell their stories versus how Americans tell their stories, that it left a couple pieces that I wish would have been wrapped up better, you know?
Yeah, I remember watching, season 3. I can't remember season 2 like quite as much, like the emotions going into it and everything. But I always like had the feeling is like there's so many open storylines and character lines that there's so many things kind of happening. How are they going to resolve all this? Because we're like halfway through the season now, and it's like everyone's still kind of there, and things aren't really wrapping up, and then it kind of happens very abruptly, you know what I mean? So it felt like it kind of sped up towards the end when you could have maybe taken out a couple episodes of season 2 and just made it one long season and taking your time with everything and gradually, organically done it rather than just like rushing at the end.
Well, I don't know if we want to, but I don't know if we want to get into it right now, but like there's a specific plot line I think they could have cut out completely and then use that to give more time to other things.
I mean, you could call it what it is. It's the cop storyline that did nothing for this story.
Yeah.
Well, I would have.
So true.
The cop storyline could have been interesting if they did more with it. I'm more talking about Kang Noel, the Guard 11, and her whole story about infiltrating the organ donation thing.
but she did more to shut down the Squid Games than either Gi-hun or Jun-ho the cop did. Either of them. Like, neither one of them were successful in any of their endeavors. They both kind of sucked at their mission. And Jun-Ho's just sailing around for 23 episodes like, I'm trying to find an island.
Mm-hmm.
But
and he finally gets there. He looks at his brother and he runs away and the whole place blows up. So, good job.
Well,
so let's talk about that moment. Oh, go ahead.
They had a good plan in the beginning. Like putting the tracker in his tooth was a really good plan. They just they didn't know that the sea captain was in on it, and like if that wasn't part of it, I mean, the season wouldn't have happened because they would have just flown over during red light, green light, like okay, here you are, like
right.
But you're right. They needed something to happen, and I like the part about his friend catching on to the captain. Yeah. But they needed that story to go somewhere besides, like you said, hey, it's my brother. And that's the end.
Right. Yeah.
And then he gets a baby. Why does he get the baby?
Mm-hmm.
Because I shot him. I feel bad. He yelled at me when things are going to go boomy boom. So I got to give him a baby. That's my big complaint about this season's is these unrealized moments that like there was nothing in this season that rivaled the emotional moment of that episode Marbles in season 1. That was such a good episode that when it ended, you're like, oh my gosh, you felt the sacrifices of the players and you felt like the betrayal that I can't remember these characters' names, but the rich guy who betrayed the Arab man and got him killed. And then when Gi-hun betrayed 001 before we knew he was a bad guy, like both of those were really good things. And then the North Korean girl too, all of those really good moments. And it was such a great episode. This season had no good closure because we had that Gi-hun storyline that ended, like you said, he yells at his brother. There needed to be a longer conversation than that. We needed something more. And maybe they should have combined that storyline and had him early on, not early on, but like in the middle of the third season, finally get to the island and meet up with Noelle. Yeah. And then both of them together could have...
That's what I thought was going to happen too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, we end up with something that feels lackluster. And I don't want to pivot away from this to talk about one other thing, but it ties in exactly what we're talking about, is the confrontation between Gi-hun and the frontman. The frontman betrayed him. All that set up in season 2 was really well done. I thought their back and forth, their interactions were good in season 2. We get to season 3, we're waiting for the inevitable payoff of those two coming face to face again. And they do for 30 seconds and have this really short scene that doesn't impact anything.
No.
And that's it. And I just wish we would have gotten more. I know we had a little bit of like, okay, well now the front man in the themes of it saw the sacrifice, what's his name, that Gi-hun was willing to make. And so then he believes in the humanity and he had a little flash of that. There's a little bit of that there, but it didn't drive it home because we needed more interaction between them.
Right.
Exactly. And more overt, like, reaction to the fact that, like, this happened again. He trusted the old man in the first season and he was in on it. And then the same thing, like, number 1 in both games was replaced by a plant. And both times he trusted them and both times he had that reaction. But it wasn't really ever spelled out.
Yeah. So that's where season 3 was a letdown to me. The actions and different things were still good, but I wanted different. And when it ended on season 3 and the finale hit, I'm like, really? That's how we're ending all of this?
Mm-hmm. And just setting up for the next one.
And one last criticism. Okay, were the VIPs supposed to be the worst acting ever?
They were speaking real English, the actors were, but then their English was overdubbed by other English,
I think so,
voice actors.
Yep.
And actually one of them has gone on, and there's kind of a little bit of a controversy when this came out. One of those actors was like, I spoke fine English. I don't know why they felt they had to get a voice dub for my character.
Yeah. Oh, made it feel kind of cheesy and everything. And
so it was dubbed for the Korean, and instead of just giving us the original audio.
Yep.
Right.
That makes sense because they're like, Oh, now it's the baby. The baby is a player in the game.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the voice actors, like you can tell, obviously, you know that it's not their actual voices, but I think a lot of the voice, I listened to it in the English dub, did a really good job.
I was just going to ask that. Do you guys watch it in the original Korean language or with the subtitles or with the English dub?
I also watch it in English dub, mainly because I'm doing something else too, usually when I'm watching it. So it's like I don't have time to just read the subtitles while.
Matt's over here talking about how he reads books and everything, but when he's watching a show or a movie, nope, I'm not reading any subtitles.
Well, fine then. Listen, subtitles are really hard to read. They're so small.
That's it. Watch it all over again in the subtitles.
I will learn native Korean just to be able to watch this show on my own.
There was a couple episodes in season 2 where we watched it with the English dub voices because Alyssa was doing something else and she didn't want to just have her full attention on it, and it just drove me nuts. I can't stand watching a show when you can tell that it's dubbed. It drives me nuts. It's all I can focus on. Hate it.
Brian, I know you said you thought that they did a good job, and I think most of them did, but there are some ones that really stood out that were against the grain. Like the one spirituality lady.
Oh yeah.
It's the same complaint. It's like they find this voice dubbing actress to do Crazy Woman, because it was that same in the first season. There's that one crazy, more manic type lady. She also had a really bad voice dub, in my opinion. And I don't know if it was the same woman, because it was that same, this doesn't fit. It doesn't match what she's doing, even though she's crazy, obviously, and insane.
Yeah. And that character was annoying to begin with. So then you add that on top of it.
Well, she was supposed to be annoying, but yeah. And me, same thing as Matt. Like I almost never sit and watch a show. I'm always doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about, so one of the things that brings us into these shows and what's so captivating is the way that they handle these, some of them familiar games, but then also to make it have some sort of narrative consequence, as well as the how are they going to survive this, what's their strategy, all that sort of thing. So Brian, you listed out the games from seasons 2 to 3. I'll kind of let you direct this portion, and we'll just kind of give our feedback and how you wanted to go through these.
Well, I think as we go through, most of these kind of have like a counterpart to season 1. And obviously the first one is the same. They kept the first one the same, Red Light, Green Light. I think it's because it's the iconic, like that, just that doll and that red light, green light. The creepiness is just there. And you can argue if in universe, if they were going to have all the same games, or if they caught on, like, okay, Gihan knows all these games, so it's not going to be interesting if he tells everyone how to beat him. I'm not sure if they were planning on that, but this time was interesting because this time you had someone telling them right up front, okay, you are going to die in this game. And yeah, a lot of people didn't believe him, but if you watch through it, a lot more people survived this time than in season 1. And that's because of him. And even they got about halfway through before anyone even died. Whereas the first season, someone died right away.
Right.
Yeah. And the first season, we didn't see any active sabotage in this game.
I was going to ask that question. Okay.
Yeah.
Not that I can remember. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but I'm 90% sure we didn't see that. This one we did. Obviously, we had Thanos push the line in front of him, and he also, I think he did the thing with the girl at the bee.
With the girl with the bee, he wasn't trying to, because I think he didn't even know that was going to happen either, because he just he was trying to hit on her. He was like, oh yeah, like they must know you're a flower because you got a bee on him, because you can see the look of like shock on his face when she got shot and the blood splatters on his face.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't expecting that to happen.
Yeah.
But after that happened, after he caught on, that's when he's like, oh, I'm going to, which is really interesting because that was even before they had the piggy bank and like them really realizing that the more players die, the more money you get. So he was really just
for the violence,
doing it just to be a dick, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was also the introduction of that drug that it's like, yeah, it makes them high, but they kind of allude to this idea that it also makes you not have your morality and
Mhm.
be okay with killing. Because like he's like after people are getting shot when they're running, he like does like a little heel click as he's running down, like he's enjoying this chaos that's happening around him. And so I think that was a good introduction back into the games, good introduction of Gi-hun taking the lead of like, hey, I have a reason and I have a strategy. Let's all stick to this. And I think that was a good introduction.
Yep.
And like everyone thought he was like, oh, this guy's crazy. Even his friend, even Jung Bae, like his friend who had found him in there, was like, I don't know this guy. Then after people started dying and they realized, he's like, okay, I'm gonna follow you from here on out.
Yeah. All right, next game was the six-legged pentathlon.
Which this one obviously has a correlation back to the Dalgona, and which for the first game, the licking the candy.
Yep.
Which at first it looked like it was the same room, but if you go back to season one was a much smaller area, so I'm not sure if it was like the same room, but they like had a divider in season one or something. I don't know, but that was the correlation there, and that was the first one to realize, okay, no, it's not going to be all the same games as season one. There's going to be new ones, and this is where it had all like the mini games, which are probably a lot more into Korean culture, because I don't know, like before the show, I never heard of Dakji or Gongi.
Yeah, or even like the throw a rock at the stone thing. I mean, I've seen like the little hacky sack type. We have a version of that, but this was the most Korean of all the games in season 2 and 3 because we had familiarity with everything else.
Yeah. And they kind of like, you can tell it's for a Korean audience because they didn't say like, okay, this is how you play Gongi. This is how you play Dakji. I mean, we kind of caught on to it as we go, but these are clearly like, to us, it's like, oh, they're playing freeze tag.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And so this was a game to showcase the teamwork element and to kind of build alliances. And narratively, that's where that went, of who are the people you can trust. And it showed us, hey, this transgender person is someone we can trust. Hey, the former Marine, not a Marine, it was someone that we can count on. Hey, Gi-hun's best friend, he's going to help him get to the end. Oh, also Thanos and his crew, they have their way of, so it's kind of showing the strengths of all these different characters and giving you some buy-in with some of them.
Establishing some groups within like the larger group and everything, who you can trust. But I also like it too because, they get this idea, okay, this is our team now, but they don't really know, well, future games, you might choose a team and you have to kill people in that team too. So, we kind of know that as an audience, but it's a way to establish the different cliques that are in there and the different sides.
And does that bring us to Mingle?
Yep.
But one thing before with the pentathlon, that's the second game is the last time that we don't have any like known characters die. Like everyone who died in that game were like the background people who we didn't really know.
Yeah. You didn't have much buy-in with them to begin with. This was your shot to gain some buy-in with certain characters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even like Red Light, Green Light, the one girl who got shot first, we knew her a little bit.
Yeah.
But going into Mingle, the game 3, which doesn't really have a strong correlation, except like you could say the third game and the first one was Tug of War, which was it was a teamwork game, and this one was a teamwork game too, but in a much different way. And this is a game I remember. You remember playing this in youth group, Alex, growing up? Not with doors, but you say a number. I vividly remember playing this in the Bethel basement. They'd say like 4, and you have to get a group of 4 together.
Yes.
I don't ever want to go to your guys' youth group now. What are those guys at the door with guns for? You'll see. Oh, you'll see. Guys, youth group is too cliquey. Well, you won't have problems with that for very long.
Yeah. And you get like the carousel where everyone is super serious, and Gi-hun has like the whole game has like the most serious look on his face, and then you have Thanos and Namgyu like dancing.
Yep, just high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to think about which one the Mingle one was. Yeah, so that's where they're all in the carousel. They have to choose a number, or they say a number, find those people, and then you run into the door, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And it has the moment where like the frontman and Jung Bae go into a room, and there's already someone in there, so he just like, all right, I'm just gonna kill this guy right now, and he like strangles the second guy, and that's their first clue. Like something's weird with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it's been a little bit since I saw that. I know there's also some betrayals that happen in that. Brian, can you walk us through one or two of the betrayals that happened in that game?
Yeah, well, one was by accident, and one wasn't. So the young May, she's one of the girls who really was only featured in this game. She was really close friends with. I'm gonna get the name. It's
Oh yeah.
She was good. She was good friends with
The scared guy.
Ko Hung Ju. The or not even him. She was friends with the transgender girl, and towards the end they were gonna be running into a room together, and the girl got separated, and instead the baby daddy guy rushed in and took her place, and we saw her like looking in through the little slot, and she got shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the other one, so Thanos' crew, at one point, there's 5 of them, and the group is 4. And he looks back, and it's like this one guy and this guy had been like, I'm a big Thanos fan because he's a rapper, and he looks at him and says, "You out," and like
it just
kicks him in the chest and makes him and jumps him down. But then when they get in the room, he's like, "Where'd he go? Where'd he go?" It's like, "You're the one who kicked him out." And they look out through the window and they see him get shot.
Was this also, was there a moment where there was the mother and son that got separated, and there was like, it almost like the son betrayed the mom for a minute?
Yeah, okay, the son was he needed to grow a backbone throughout this entire season. But like 2 other guys just grab him and bring him back, and he's like, "Oh no, what am I gonna do?" Mm-hmm. He doesn't try to fight back at all. But that's when Gihan and the front man both grab the mom, and they make her part of their group of 3. So they both survived, but he basically just like, "Oh, okay, guess we're getting separated now."
Yeah, and that's the story arc where it never really developed, or he never really grew, like up until the very end. Like he still tried just to take the easy way out, kill the girl that just had the baby and everything. Just till his death, he just never really grew anywhere. He never had that.
Yeah, I like the mom though.
Yeah,
and this was the one. This was the one game that the son voted, yes, let's go on, right? It was before Mingle. Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the
and then in the next game, his mom's like, "If you pull that crap again, I will hang myself right here."
Yeah.
Which is foreshadowing, because then she eventually did.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that. I didn't rewatch season 2 after season 3.
Yeah.
No, you're right that is another one of those unrealized potential for arcs, because the way that things transpired in hide and seek between the mom and the son was very manufactured and very forced, and I hated it. I didn't hate it in the same way I hated Marbles, where it's like, that's so sad, I hate it. I'm like, no, there was a better way to do this.
Missed opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, should we just do the games in order? Because before the next game, game is hide and seek. Before the next game is where we had the insurrection, the stairway battle. Do you want to talk about just the games, or do you want to talk about that one next? Because that's not one of the games. That's when they tried to basically take all the guns and do all that.
That one actually was the fights first. That was the one where Thanos died, where I was like, "Yay,
that's right,
Thanos, you suck."
Yep.
Yeah, with the fork. Okay, so we have 2, and so after Mingle, we had a break. That's when they had, because again, they had the same thing in season 1 where they had to have a realization, oh, we can kill each other here.
Mm-hmm.
And the fight broke out. I think initially it was because of Min Su, another character who had no backbone, the timid guy who ended up got on drugs later. He voted against Thanos' crew, and they were like bullying him in the bathroom. And that's when that fight broke out, and that's when the baby daddy guy shoved a fork in his face.
Yeah. I kind of forgot how that all... It's been a while since I've seen season 2, but I kind of forgot how that all started when Thanos actually died. Like, when I started season 3, I knew he was dead, but I couldn't remember when it happened.
Yeah. Which, okay, there's a lot of options in the show. So between, like, Thanos or his neck or his right-hand man, the Namgyu, or the angry old Mr. 100 man, or the spiritual lady... Who's the worst character, you think? Who's the one you hated the most? I think those are your 4 front runners.
I understand Thanos, but I hated Thanos. I actually, of all the villains, even though I didn't obviously root for him because he's a villain, I liked 100 because I liked his Weasley demeanor, and I liked that he was a good foil of like, oh, let me whip up the crowd and let me manipulate them and by like gaslighting and like, oh, look at all the bad things Gi-hun is doing. I think that worked really well for the story, and I liked it was a very natural villain too.
I agree. I hated Thanos, but then I almost hated Namgyu even more. His right hand man, who like you could tell wanted to be Thanos.
Yeah.
Because in hide and seek, he's all like, "Yeah, let's destroy half the universe," like saying all these Thanos lines. It's like, but also trying to be like, "Oh man, he didn't even know my name." Yeah, you wanted to be him,
right? I think they all played a good part. Like, obviously, you're never supposed to like the hated character or the villain, but I feel like I always got the most frustrated with the spiritual lady.
Oh yeah,
but I knew, she played a part throughout that whole thing, and she probably made it to when she had to make it. Trying to manipulate her followers and everything, and you could tell she was faking. Because even before you get to that part, you can still kind of think, well, maybe she does have some type of inkling or spiritual presence or something. But then when they're doing the hide and seek game, you can obviously tell she's going in circles and she's peeking, and she like makes the little blood arrows and everything, and so that point,
and
okay,
every time someone questions her, she's like, "How dare you? How dare you question me? I am the best ever. If you don't root for me to win, I will have a curse upon your family." And my gosh, I was happy that she died.
Exactly.
Yeah. At least with Thanos, I can understand him in terms of the theme. And I can understand why we needed a character like Thanos. I still didn't like him, of course, and I still was glad he died, but I can understand him being there. I didn't understand what the spiritual lady brought to the story outside of just being another one. I didn't feel like it said anything deeper, whereas I thought that Thanos and his drug addiction and how that passes from one to another person, that had some things to say, and it made sense.
Yeah, it brought a different element, but it didn't add anything to the story at all.
Yeah.
Just another, just another thing.
Yeah.
But what did add something to the story is I liked the storyline. It was really interesting about the insurrection, where they're basically using the fight as cover to play dead and then basically try to take one over on the guards. Interesting thing though is because ultimately Gi-hun's goal is to end the games, but he actively knows that he has to actively let people die in order to let this fight break out enough to hide among the dead bodies. But an interesting crew, and you got like most of your main big characters, taking the guns, and for a little bit, it looks like they might win because they actually do make some progress on it. They get pretty far, and actually, if Daeho had come back with the weapons or the ammo, I don't know if they would have won, but they definitely would have gotten a lot farther.
Yeah.
It was really like between that and the front man being the double agent that really got him screwed over in that.
Yep.
But that was the most interesting part of season 2 is watching that whole sequence go down, because it was different. It was still violent and still like, oh no, but it was a completely different turn that we didn't see coming as much and was unique, and it gave that really cool visual. I thought it was a really good thing in season 3. It's dark, but to like show all the rebels hanging from the center ones when they're going to their next game, like how dare you look at what happens.
Now,
they call this one the human chandelier, where they hung everybody from it.
So
I saw a post that said, "So saying Wu, he's sorry."
No,
you shut up, Alex.
You go.
We're like on like a second delay, so I keep thinking you're done, and then go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, so when season 2 came out, did we know there was gonna be a season 3? Like, did we know this was gonna be? I feel like I didn't know that. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Yeah, I think they announced like before season 2 came out, not too long, but that they were working on a season 3, or that had already filmed it, something like that. Like it's already been greenlit. Like really, it hasn't even gone on the second. Like it makes sense. We know second one's going to be big, but
right. Okay.
Well, I think you had to because you're only halfway through the games, and if you just stop in season 3, like the cop plot line really had done nothing.
Right.
So really, it would have been like one of the worst series finales if there wasn't a season 3.
Yeah. Well, and I always make it a point to never look at how many episodes there are. Like, I never skip ahead to see, oh, we got like 2 episodes left or anything. And I feel like when I was watching it, I didn't really know if they were going to win or not, or if they were going to finish the games up. I remember thinking like, well, gosh, I kind of hope they don't win because I want to see the rest of the games. But I don't think I knew that there was going to be a season 3 until the end of season 2. But I could just be misremembering that too.
Yeah.
See, I didn't watch 2 or 3 until recently before this podcast, so that's
Probably
why
the
I got to
right
watch
way to
them
do it.
together.
Watch them back to back.
Because it really seemed like 2 seasons,
Yeah.
not one season.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they filmed them back to back.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense production cost wise if they knew they were going to film a 3rd season like that to not do it that way.
Right.
And especially with how quick the turnaround was to have the new season.
Yep.
It was only like 5-6 months in between the 2.
Yeah, and there was like what a
Yeah.
2-year break in between 1 and 2, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this insurrection also was like the biggest death in this part was clearly Jung Bae, who is his Gi-hun's friend,
Yep.
who was a super likable character.
Mhm.
And in a way, the front man too. The front man that we saw or that Gi-hun knew died.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but we knew that but we the audience knew that he wasn't dead. They thought he was dead.
Yeah.
But we never see that version of his character come back. And I liked what he brought in season 2. I think some of the best stuff of season 2 is actually conversations he has with Gi-hun. That's why I really want to talk about themes, because I think there's some really good themes that they hit on that I just wish would have closed out really well.
Yeah.
That didn't. So
Yeah.
But one last thing about this part is, so this is kind of nonsense, but it's also related. I was going to do a side by side, but I didn't have time. When I was watching it the second time, there's a part where Jung Bae, the guy we're talking about who died, his friend, is giving like a pep talk to the crew before they go and do this thing. He says like, I know you're scared. I'm scared too, but we got to do this, right? And it just made me a flashback. So I'm going to give you guys a quote from a different movie and see if you can guess exactly. So this other movie, a character says, I'm just as scared as you are, but we have to do this for freedom, for honest, for loyalty or something like that. Do you have any idea what that second movie is?
I thought you were going to be going with the Avengers Age of Ultron, where Hawkeye's conversation with Wanda before.
That could also fit. But no, you're not going to get it, because I was talking about Fozzie Bear's pep talk to the crew in The Great Muppet Caper. But it weirdly fit. They both start with, I'm just as scared as you are, but we got to do this. And I'm just thinking, like, the guy even kind of looks like Fozzie Bear a little bit. It's like, I was going to pull up both clips and then do like a side-by-side video, but I didn't have time.
Yeah, you are right though, Brian. I never would have gotten that.
No.
I'm thinking like freedom. Okay, is it like Braveheart, The Patriot, another Mel Gibson movie?
Fury uses that. It uses that speech of the I know you're scared, I'm scared too.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
So Matt, did you want to talk about the themes now, or should we keep going like chronologically and go to the next game?
Yeah, let's finish out this section and we'll come back and we'll talk about that.
Okay. So the next game is the hide and seek, which I think they were trying to make this the mirror of marbles, but it was nowhere near as good as marbles.
Yeah, agreed completely.
Because this is the section that had the most deaths of like recognizable characters. A lot of characters we knew died in this part.
Yeah, because we lost Daeho, and we finally saw Gi-hun in a villainous role against Daeho.
Mm-hmm.
Kill him. Because we lost. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, we lost Daeho. We lost the son of the old lady.
We lost a transgender soldier.
Yep.
We lost her. Then there's also
and we got a mortally wounded Jung Bae. No, not Jung Bae.
Jun Hee, the girl,
Jun-hee.
the pregnant girl. Yep. And the spiritual caramel lady died there as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank goodness.
Sound like you said the spiritual caramel lady, and that sounds delicious.
She might like caramel.
Did I say? Oh no, I said karma lady, not caramel.
I want the spiritual caramel. Extra.
You should order that at Starbucks and see what they give you.
It tastes like enlightenment.
That's just extra sugar. But like this is the one where, like, just like marbles, where they do have to turn on each other, and there are some good moments in there. The moment where the transgender lady found the exit and could have been free, and then because she came back, she got killed.
Yep.
That was probably the most emotional death of all of them for me out of that crew.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The most actively vicious that we see number 100 be is in this game when he holds the door as someone's dying. He's influenced other people's deaths before, and he does later, but this is like the most hands-on. He pretty much killed that person.
That just shows how annoying that girl was. He was just fed up with her too. He's like, nope, this is my time. You're out of here.
Yeah.
Because she just mocked him, and he's like, I will not be mocked. Yeah. And also, I mean, you got to give it to him. That part where he was cornered, he's like, okay, I'm going to put blood on my face and lay down like I'm dead. That was genius. I mean, that saved him.
Yeah.
It's why I like him. I do appreciate a character that can weasel their way into surviving. And even if I'm
he's a weasel against them, he's good at it.
Yep. But every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, you jerk. Stop being a jerk.
Actually, I want to go back and listen to what he sounded like in Korean, because was he okay, Alex, was he always yelling?
Yes.
Okay, good, because that's what his American actor was always like. How dare you? We need to keep playing these games. We only made 400 million won. Ha! That's what he sounded like.
To be fair, though, most of the Koreans were always yelling. So, like, whether you're
true.
Should we continue this conversation until it crosses the racism line?
Yep, I was like, I'm trying that right now.
We're edging right there.
Well, I wasn't trying. I guess I wasn't trying to do an accent, but I was just trying to sound like him. So, yeah, I suppose.
We're fine. All right. Jump rope bridge. Do we have creepier versions of those big giant characters ever than we do in this game?
No. Luckily, I found out from behind the scenes that it was only practical from the legs down. The top of the dolls were CGI'd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, like, they obviously the drop wasn't as far. It was like just a couple feet, but then obviously they CGI'd the rest in. I saw this is the part. This is the one where I saw behind the scenes, and it's interesting how, like, it looks so cheesy when you see when I see Gihan with the fake baby jumping. When all you see is green screen around him and a foam right there below him. It's like it takes away all the stakes, but it works when they have all the CGI there.
Right.
I've got the CGI baby. I'm saving it.
Okay, yeah, can we talk about the baby for a second?
Yes.
Did they ever use a real baby in there? Because that was like the fakest baby of even when they're just holding the baby, it is just pure CGI, so fake. It's
I think only for like close-up shots they may have had a baby.
I even think the close-up shots were CGI'd. Go back and watch it the third time.
When you're about to say the fakest baby you've ever seen, I was going to direct you back to a scene in American Sniper with Bradley Cooper. Are you familiar?
Well, I have not seen that since theater, so it's probably been, 10 years?
He's very clearly holding a plastic baby doll in his hands, and you can see him kind of like interacting with it to try and make it seem like it's moving. But it's such a close-up shot of him that it's so obvious how fake the baby is. Oh. And like, really, Clint Eastwood, you couldn't do something else? There's no other shot that works where it hid how
we don't want to
plastic the baby was? Whatever.
Then maybe don't put a baby in your story, but just...
Well, it's real life. It's based off a true story. Real baby. Real baby replaced the fake baby.
Yeah. So the two deaths we have in here, the first one, that Namgyu, Thanos' right-hand man, which kind of felt like they were like, we have nothing else to do with this. Let's just kill him here. We have nothing left to do with him.
Which I also predicted that it was obviously an empty necklace with the drugs that were supposed to be in there. I mean, I knew that. He threw it out there, but he's going to get to it. He's going to get it. It's going to be empty, and then he's going to die.
And also, I know this is about addiction, but my thought is like, okay, why don't you finish crossing the bridge and then then open it up for drugs?
Yep. Or not take 2 or 3 at a time. Ration it out a little bit.
But you're right. It really highlights the you can't bring logic into an addiction.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's especially someone in the thralls of withdrawal.
Mhm.
So makes sense.
Yeah.
But
And
this
then
was a game that going into it, I'm like, they've lost a lot of people from doors, and they're gonna keep one of the villains, and I figured they're gonna let 100 survive. So I'm like, this is probably the one where Skeevy, stupid addict guy, dies.
Yep.
And we've got the one little, oh, I'm so scared about everything. I don't know if he's gonna survive. No one really cares.
Yep.
But what's her name? It has an ankle injury. She's not surviving. So
Yep.
this was the one where it's like the most obvious deaths were going to
Yes.
happen in this one.
was there any way that she could have gone across with? I mean, because Gihan was going to come back and get her, but I don't even know how he would have done that.
Yep.
If he could have carried her himself, that's
But
hard.
jump? I don't think.
Yeah.
No way. Yeah. But that's the other part that bugged me too. Is he came to this game to save these people, to end the games, right? But so many times throughout these seasons, he just watched so many people die, right? Like you brought up the one with the fight. Okay, we got to let some of these people die so we can like have this master scheme. But most of the people that were dying were all the innocent people that didn't want to be there anyways.
Yeah.
And then this one, he watches that one guy push like 5, 6, 7 people like off the cliff, and he's just like watching it. Just push the one guy. You're trying to save all these people. Okay, well, push the one guy that's killing all the other people. Kill one person to save 5, 6 more.
He even says, well, what if I push you? Well, then do it.
Then just do it. Yeah.
Well, you look at Gihan in season 3, and he is a shell of himself.
Yeah.
There's very little that he does in season 3, especially like the most agency he has, of course, to save the baby, but is when he kills Deho. Like that's really when he's the most aggressive, and what he brings. The rest of it is him just like either moping or just staring, like with that Gihan stare that he has that he's patented for seasons 2 and 3.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially on like the Sky Squid, and they're arguing. He's just kind of staring at them. I'm like, you're not gonna say anything about this. Yep. Okay,
it's all part of the plan.
Well, so what I liked about him in the beginning, before he went in, when he was with his friend and with the cop, they're making their whole plan about, all right, I have all these guns. Here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna put a plan to like he was putting plans into action, and that was I liked him there, and I liked him up through even when he was helping everybody survive in red light, green light. But then after that, you're right. He kind of he was just there to be angry and mopey.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's understandable because from the point of view where he was broken from watching his best friend die, and the front man that he thought was a good friend, and just like he led this rebellion that didn't do anything. That was his shot, and I think he realized there's no hope of stopping the games now.
Yep, he doesn't have a purpose. Until the baby came, then his purpose became, okay, well, I'm going to save the baby. It's the one thing I'm going to do. I don't care about anything else.
And that's a fine arc if we were able to devote a little bit more time to it instead of then pulling it off of the focus off of him and putting the focus on things that really didn't matter, like the Minsu and the other addict guy, like anything going on with them. We didn't care.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's where one of those conversations with the front man would have, and making it longer, would have given us a lot more agency to his actions and helped drive the point home instead of us being like, oh yeah, I guess he's in mourning, but it's boring to watch.
Yeah. All that really did was to show how the front man went through the same exact thing, and then he took advantage of it. He won the game. So all it really did was just show how they are different people, and then the front man was able to see, oh, this, he is actually a better person than I was. Then maybe that shows, oh, that's why he saved the baby and like gave it to the main guy's daughter, I guess, a little bit. But like again, you can talk more about that to get into it rather than just like reading between the lines.
Yeah. And I don't really believe this, but to hear like there was a loose theory that the old man from season 1 was the front man's dad, because I guess in season 1 he said something like, "Oh, I can't drink chocolate milk," and then in this season when the front man was in the game, he's like, "Go ahead, take my milk. I can't digest milk anyways." They thought, "Oh, maybe it's a father-son thing," but I feel like if that was the case, it would have been more to it than just offhanded milk references a season apart.
Yeah, maybe talking about their family or something, like the cop's family a little bit.
Could have, and even though that the main guy, number one in the first season was sadistic, would he for no reason put his son through the Squid Games as well?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You know? Oh.
Yeah. So that brings us to the final game, or I suppose before the final game, is where they have the whole the baby is now going to be part of the game. She's player 222, which like the baby never signed the agreement.
Yeah, they're just winging it.
Yeah.
For the VIPs.
Yeah. And they have this is where they have the competition with the front man, and they have like the traditional give everybody fancy clothes, and then you're gonna, but this time it was more than just the three of them that they had in the first season.
Yeah. I didn't have a problem with them going that route and the unfairness of it and everything. It's like, yeah, they like, oh, we want to give each character or each contestant the best chance of winning. Like, no, you don't. Obviously not. You've rigged this, and you keep trying to rig it to make it interesting for your VIPs.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yep.
It also shows how fast a lot of people were okay with killing a baby.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
That's the easiest choice. Kill the baby.
So here's something that I think is a little funny and something that I don't see pointed out too much. I feel like thematically this is it's a like check mark in the pro-life versus pro-choice column, because I don't think a lot of people like equate that idea, but it feels like it is that classic abortion versus not abortion argument. And like this movie or this show was unabashedly pro-life, to even make it that the baby was the one who won because the baby didn't deserve this. And so whether they felt that way or not, because who knows how the creators where they lean, they gave that message accidentally or maybe intentionally, I don't know, but I don't see anyone really talking about that because I don't know. I felt like that was something that was communicated, whether it was intentional or not.
I can see your point. I didn't think of that till you mentioned it.
I didn't either. Speaking of the baby, though, I feel like in season 2, the pregnant girl did not seem very pregnant whatsoever. Then all of a sudden, season 3 started, and she's gonna go into labor like any second now. It's like, you've been there 6 days. Why would you even go into that game when you're that pregnant? Like, you're at 8 months, you're going to go into the game? Makes no sense.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she didn't know the game would be you might die.
If you know when your due date is. You know your due date is coming up. Oh, let's give it 2 weeks. Okay, well, I don't know how long I'm going to be there, but I think I can hold out. No.
Again, I still have to refer to like the game that got her into was that doc. She was like, "Hey, let's stand somewhere and throw some paper down on the floor. Yeah. You can do that while you're pregnant." And again, nobody knew. But you're right. She maybe should have maybe she knew I shouldn't go away for a week when I'm due. And the whole point, like right at the beginning, the old lady was like, "Oh, I can tell you're pregnant just by how you're carrying yourself," and that made sense
because you're 8 months pregnant too, I guess.
Well, she didn't look 8 months pregnant. It would have made more sense if she was like 3 months pregnant, right. But then she wouldn't have had the baby, so it wouldn't have made sense in the story.
I can see her being like 7 months pregnant, and that an early birth was brought on by the stress of it. I can see it maybe in that realm, but. Yeah, you still show. Anyone who's been around someone who's 7 months pregnant, they still show. You can tell.
Especially if you're a small person like that, too. I mean,
yeah. I just have a lot of water weight.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious when everyone was having their final meal. They even had one of the guards come out and feed it a bottle.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. They were prepared for a baby.
Where's my steak, Garcon? All right, last game. Sky Squid, which is a horrible monstrosity of a creature that will haunt my nightmares. Can you imagine something just floating in midair with those tentacles? It's from Mario Brothers 3. They have those and little things that just float around. And all right, let's get back to it.
I brought up Fuzzy Bear. You can bring up Mario Brothers. It's about the same.
That's fair. Hey, Nintendo's developing a Donkey Kong movie, apparently.
Is Seth Rogen going to play Donkey Kong?
I would imagine he is. I think he'll probably be back.
Yeah. So this one is interesting. I mean, obviously going into it, I mean, I had a feeling that Gi-hun was going to die at the end. And you knew that this group of 6 villains were somehow all going to die. That just was a given. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, the Minsu, the checked out, drugged out guy, I didn't really care what happened to him.
Yeah.
The whole show.
Yep.
I didn't see the Gi-hun death coming until it was just the 3 of them. Because at that point, you're like, okay, the dad's going to die, but somehow Gi-hun, I think, is going to have to also die.
They never hit the button.
Especially then, when they're fighting the button, I'm like, they're not going to hit the button. That is so stupid, and then he's going to have to kill himself.
Yep, right away. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, Alyssa kept, like, waiting for the baby daddy to, like, man up, basically, and, like, I was like, no, he had so many chances to do it. He's not going to do it now. And then when I saw them, like, killing the final 2 people, like, they were killing them. I'm like, why? Don't do that. Just, like, hurt him a little bit. Don't kill him. Like, I could see it all happening as it was going. And then once they did the whole fight, like, they never hit the button. And they showed the button, like, they didn't hit the button.
Well, and the dad also held his own kid over the edge. Like, that's not a good parent. I mean, not that he was a good parent up until then.
Nope.
And I mean, he definitely would have 100% killed his own baby and kept him.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And that's where, like, that to me was another part of that, not to harp on it, but to the abortion versus pro-life, like the sacrifice your own kid and so that you can have success, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And the disconnect that I can see happening from that. But I didn't think he would go the way he did, even going into Squid Game, even like after that first one, but on that middle platform when he starts killing all that, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And it makes me irrationally upset because it's like, I guess I can get selfishness. I can understand that as motivation and just you're only focused on yourself. But I'm like, even strategy wise, it feels like this is not good strategy.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, honestly, I don't want to say it, but the lunchbox idea is actually better strategy specifically. Legally, please don't do that. Don't beat up someone with intention to carry them, to kill them and sacrifice them. We're not advocating for that. But strategy-wise, if you're winning that game, I feel like that was a better idea.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yeah, they must have just been banking on that one wounded guy. Like, oh, we'll just bring him over, so we'll kill these guys. But,
yeah.
When we talked about Squid Game Season 1, we also had to make a disclaimer. The official legal stance of TV Guys podcast is stabbing bad.
We've changed that since then. Now it's stabbing maybe. No,
we said legally stabbing no. Personally, we may have different feelings, but for legal purposes, we are not advocating stabbing. So you can't come back and say we stab.
Yeah. And not with a knife, not with a foam noodle, not with like one of those little fingers you get at like a sporting event. No stabbing of any kind. Nothing.
Unless
you really deserve it.
Yeah, and then after that they had the prologue, which is basically just like what everyone who lived ended up doing, which was I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Of all the things that we've talked about, we've alluded to it, but I think we can lump it in with this. The most interesting part to me in these Squid Games of what they added was that voting idea.
Yeah.
And I really like it. And so that maybe this is also a good time we can start tying in some themes too, because I think one of the themes in that is talking about when people are at a spot of desperation, how they are taken advantage of in what seems like democracy. And I don't want to get too political. I don't think that they are even drawing lines of like, hey, this side takes advantage or this side takes advantage. But I do think that there's something to be said of understanding that when your people are in a state of neediness and desperation, you can control what they're going to vote for
Yeah.
and what they're going to elect. And in doing so, that's how the people in power can either get or stay in power, is to keep your people needing you and needing the things that you offer. And I think there's some twisting that the front man was able to do in how he proceeded here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because multiple times he was like, "Oh, I know they're going to keep playing." Like,
Yeah.
and he was right.
voted
He knew
no
the outcome. Yep.
The first time he was the split vote. He's like, no, I have to rig it. I have to put my finger on the scale for this one. But after that, he could see how things were blowing, and he was able to say, well, no, I'm going to go ahead and say no. And to also, and this is what was so intriguing about him, is how confident he was in that. And then like the things he'd say to Gi-hun about it, where he'd be like, oh, I hope that this would be, but at the same time, I loved the conversation they had where he was like, what kind of lives are they going back to? What kind of lives are you saving? Is this really worth it? Like this pro-life argument now, and this not even about abortion, just about life in general.
Yeah.
But these people that you're caring so much about, what was the quality of their life to begin with? Because of the choices they're making.
Multiple people working for them call them trash. Like, this is just, all it is trash people who are going to die anyway, so we might as well take their organs and save them. Like, nobody, it seemed like Guard 11 was the only person who worked for the Squid Game who thought of them as people.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, like, out of how many guards, like, how did they get, like, strict obedience from that many staff members?
Which season was it? Was it maybe season 2 where we see that like a lot of these guards were young, or was that like season 1 of that first introduction and showed
both times, season 1 and season 2? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think just kind of preying on the. I mean, there's commentary in that too. Like you get to people when they're young, and you like
just
uninhibited
orders, military, you know.
Yep.
But you think that if they're so young, wouldn't some of them have like freak out reactions the first time they had to kill a player? Like, I don't know. It just seemed like there was
young and brainwashed.
They probably got a really good vetting process, and they're probably well compensated. They're paid as mercenaries. This is the job. You follow orders. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of them enjoy it a little bit too.
Oh yeah, and we see that some of them enjoy it. Which also, this is the thing. Did you catch that? After the hide and seek game, the guards, the VIPs got to go in as guards to kill off the rest of the players.
So it took me a couple episodes to realize, because I always thought it was so weird. Like, why are they talking this way now all of a sudden? Because we hadn't seen the VIPs yet. And then after like the next, I think it was like 2 more scenes after, I was like, oh, those were the VIPs that were talking all weird in there. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, because the one guy was like, oh man, I couldn't do it because my chopper was late.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And going back to like youth too, like we do actually have precedent in history, sadly, of like, the Hitler youth, or like seeing in Africa when like the invisible children and like kids that get pulled out of their place, get stuck in this military from an early age, and then they are brainwashed.
I was just going to say they're brainwashed, right? These people are choosing to be here.
Yep.
They don't have a life. They're trash. They're here because they want to be here. This is the job,
Or Chang's army of preteens in Community.
Yeah.
yeah, the real life example of Chang's army of preteens. Thank you for keeping us grounded, Brian. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Here's another theme that I think is intriguing as well, and people have kind of fought me when I've brought this up in life, because it sounds like I'm looking down on poor people, and that's not at all what's being said. But there is a poverty mentality and a wealthy person mentality and a middle class mentality, where it's like the choices that you make, if you're in a poverty mentality, the choices you make are all based off your immediate survival needs right now. And for those who live in a poverty mentality or who have been raised in a poverty mentality, they're constantly looking for the right now fix. And it's almost impossible for them to believe in a hopeful future and to plan for a future. If you say, hey, maybe you should be doing some savings, like, no, I don't have any room to save any of my money. And there are people who can break out of that, and there are people who can get out of that. But like when I worked at the bank, there'd be this person every year when their tax refund would come in, they'd come to the bank, withdraw all of it in cash, tell us later that they went and bought a bunch of Olive Garden gift cards or stuff like that. I'm like, okay, but you are living in like a really bad spot. You don't work. You're like struggling to get by, and you're telling me that you're spending all this on Olive Garden gift cards once a year. Like, you can take that money and do something greater with it, but there are consequences to that sort of thinking. And that's why I really appreciated, like, right away, the one guy who was recruiting, he really spoke to that by offering bread for you right now for survival, or the gambling of the lottery ticket. Like, oh, maybe. And all these people chose the maybe because they just wanted that break, and they just wanted, you know, instead of like taking what could help them now and then maybe turn it into something more, they took this like, maybe there's this chance that my dreams will come true, and it takes nothing of me and it requires nothing. And so there is that thread all the way through of these consequences to the lifestyles these people choose.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but all the prisoners, no matter if they're the rich or once was rich or poor, they're all in the same situation. They're all making the same decisions, same consequences. They'll have that survival aspect to them. They're all the same.
Like the Mr. 100 man, which I'm just going to call him Mr. 100 man. I know he has a name. We don't know it. We don't care.
Mr. 100 man.
You guys know way more the names than I do, so.
He they all kept saying he owed 10 billion won, which I don't know what that is in dollars.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's a
lot, because that was one like
million or something like that.
How do you get that much in debt, man? I mean, I know Korea, and they're like it's very reflective. It's very reflective.
Million.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's very reflective of Korean culture that there are a lot of these loan sharks and these bookies out there that like people do get in that massive amount of debt from people that will like break their legs, honestly.
Yeah. It's funny. Little tangent. I recently watched through Malcolm in the Middle, and there's an episode where Hal goes to one of these guys, and he says, okay, I'll just be honest with you. I'm not going to pay you back. I'm not going to be able to, but here's what I'm on offer. You can go straight to the leg breaking and invite all the people you know who owe you money, and you can make me suffer and break me and break my bones, and then they'll all see that and they'll want to pay you back. It's free publicity. And he was like, we're just offering that up. Was
that Malcolm in the Middle, or was that Breaking Bad?
It sounds like it could have been Breaking Bad, but no, this was Malcolm in the Middle.
Did they give it to him?
No, they just threw him out.
No preamble. I'm like, I'll show you. Like, I'm ready. I brought my cast and everything, ready to go.
So then some of the plots we talked about, is there anything, I mean, the whole plot about the cop looking for the island could have been really good. But again, all they did was sail around, and it took forever to find out that did you guys suspect before we found out that the captain was in it?
Yeah, I had an inkling for that, for sure.
I didn't suspect it because they didn't show that. It seemed like every couple episodes, like, oh yeah, we should check in with these guys. Like, if it was a more consistent part of the show. But I'm one who often misses things that are obvious to people.
How do you drop the ball so much on such a bad storyline?
It was just such wasted time that had no fruition at all. You know? I remember that was one of the first things I said when that whole thing happened. Like, well, that was pointless. That whole thing was just pointless. Did all that obvious work?
And like his friend is telling him, hey, this guy is shady. No, he's not shady. He's my friend.
Yes.
And the captain goes, Big X, okay, this half the map's bad. We should not look here. Okay, we'll not look there then.
Yeah, well, he saved me. Well, did you see him save you? No, they told me he did.
You know what's funny is the first season. The first season is him trying to find this island, and then he finally gets there and he gets shot, and it was like, oh, okay, well, there's that. And then they did something even worse for the second season. It's the same, like, floating around, but even worse of a payoff. I don't get it.
At least the first one, he was infiltrating the games, which was a little interesting.
Yes.
This was...
Yeah, he was doing more, I feel like. Yep.
Yeah. and then like I said, the other one was the Guard 11, and I didn't need to see more of the harvesting organs. That was boring. But you're right that she did more to shut down the games than the cop did, because she was. But it seemed like her whole mission was just to save this one guy, because she recognized him and
knew his daughter. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and-
okay, that's another point that we didn't really talk about. So at the very end of season 2, when they had the whole gun battle, and you saw the dad get shot, who has the kid. Did you guys think he was dead, or what was your guys' thought when that happened?
I thought it was, because I thought that they showed him die, but maybe I was misremembering. They know what happened.
Yeah,
they showed him get
shot and fall down, right? So like you think that he's dead. I mean, I thought he was, and I remember thinking just right away, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. There was like so much, like, what was the whole point of bringing him in there and having the Guard 11, all this stuff? Like, that made no sense. And then when we started watching season 3, and I can't remember how the season starts.
I think it starts with that.
It does. Okay. And I remember thinking, like, right when they start going into that, I'm like, oh, he's still alive. Oh, thank goodness, because that would have been just so dumb.
Well, she goes up to him and she says, like, close your eyes. Do what I say if you want to live.
But even before like they show her go up to him and everything. I think they just come to like the end of the gun battle. I think they show him get shot again. I'm like, oh, he's not dead. They're showing it again. He's not dead. I'm like, thank goodness. But I did go a whole year thinking that he was. And like, that was dumb.
Also, is there a better example of plot armor than Gi-hun somehow them not killing him and then bringing him back alive in the casket? Like,
yeah, right.
In universe, he would have been shot.
Yep.
Well,
he made it more interesting.
See it. I do understand that, like, the front man was making a point with him,
right.
And that I think the front man didn't want to kill him. He wanted to kind of like kill the mentality, and then after that he could kill him. But like Gi-hun had that faith that humans could actually choose something better. And so at every opportunity, the front man is showing him, no, look at all of them who are voting. No, we're going to keep going. Look at everyone saying, we know the risks and we know that I have to kill people to get further, but I'm going to choose to do that anyway because I want more money. Mm-hmm. And so to actually have Gi-hun give his life and put his money where his mouth was, should have impacted more. It is a good idea to end it that way, but we should have again seen a little bit more and had that moment play a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then also because of that, then we also see, and like I think we're done with his storyline because we're done with the Korean games, but we see when he's in America, he sees, oh, I shut down these Squid Games in Korea, but they're still going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be going on because that's the nature of people. But maybe Gi-hun has shown me it doesn't have to be. So I would be interested if we see the front man show up in the American games, because I think he could continue that arc if they knew what to do with it and let him actually be like, maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That was going to be is he going to be in the next one? Is he going to be
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't at least
or is he going to be involved behind the scenes or
Yeah.
Apparently, not even Cate Blanchett is confirmed for that. That she's like, oh, this was just for the Korean ones, just to show that this exists in America.
Well, and interesting, like in season 1, I didn't notice this until I went back. When the VIPs came in season 1, they were like, the Korean games are always the best. So maybe it's confirmed that there have been other versions going on.
Right.
Yes. It is confirmed. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So then did O.L. Nam, the old man, did he start the very first one? Or did he like adapt it from another country? Because it made it seem like he was the originator of the concept of Squid Game.
Seems like he could be the origin of it, and other countries started doing it to mimic it, you know?
Mm.
It's kind of like Korea was the first to have the show Squid Game, and then other countries have mimicked it. It plays. Korea's a big country. Yep. Or, I'm sorry, Korea's a populated country.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, in the records, they say that the very first Squid Game was also the year that all three of us were born.
Oh, really? 1988?
Yeah, they say the first one was 88.
I wasn't going to say our birth year, but both of you guys just offered that willingly, so whatever.
Matt, I forget what context, but I'm pretty sure like 2 episodes ago you said we were born in '88, and I don't remember what the context was.
I would never. I am completely inconsistent from episode to episode. And next episode, I'm going to be mad about something completely different that I am for this episode. So
Also, every year around the spring, you make a point to say like, "Hey guys, you should wish happy birthday to me and Brian because our birthdays are right close to each other."
But he doesn't say the year.
I'd never say the year. Never, except for the times that I do. So.
When is your birthday? What's your social security number?
Stop it. I am not going to have my identity compromised.
The 3 of us we're all born within a month and a half of each other because me and Alex are a month apart, and then Matt's like 2 weeks behind me.
Ah, so I'm the oldest. Aha.
Yes. You. Way to go.
By like 40 days.
Yep.
Oldest is oldest, losers. It's like twins when there's the older sibling.
Yeah,
like
I'm
older by
older.
3 minutes. All right, here's a question. I don't know if you guys have thought about this. I just started thinking about it like 2 minutes ago. So obviously I have a lot of experience here.
Been thinking about it for a long time.
The games that they're going to use for the USA version.
Yep.
Have you thought about what games would make sense for
The Floor is Lava?
Floor is Lava. It's a good one.
Did you watch? There's a YouTube video. I watch Film Theory and Game Theory and like all the stuff that Matt Pat started. And the Film Theory actually did before, like as they're announcing this, they're like, which country would work the best for Squid Games? Which one would be most interesting? And they landed like, I think America could. And they're going through some of the games that they had. And then like, oh, by the way, it just was announced as we were writing this episode. So
that's funny.
But they said Floor is Lava. I think they picked Floor is Lava as one.
I mean, you think tag is a classic one. There's a lot of variations of it, but you can easily, if you get tagged, you're dead type of thing.
Well, do you think they'll keep Red Light, Green Light? Because we also play Red Light, Green Light here too.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. It's a pretty iconic game.
Yeah.
That could be the start of all of them. Well, and that's one question I've always kind of had too. Is like obviously there was different games in this season, but realistically, you can't do different games every single year. Like a lot of these games, like they're extravagant. They're huge. They're tall. Like all these different. There's no way you can do different games every single year. So did they just do different games because they had a repeat contestant, or was this just a one-off thing?
I would say they probably have like maybe a roster of like maybe 10 to 12 games, and they do different variations every time. Because also like the facility, I'd love to see a layout of these facilities because are some of these the same rooms as season like the giant Squid Game? Could that be in the same area that they did Tug of War in season 1?
Right. Yeah. The Sky Room or whatever.
Or do they have like a massive storage area where they put everything away? All right, this area we're gonna reset it for marbles next year, or something. But
the hide and seek room, like obviously that place is huge, right?
Yeah.
You can't really repurpose that for anything else.
No.
Yeah. The reality show that they did for Squid Game, where they actually hosted a version of Squid Game that Netflix did with the American contestants, some of the games that they used some of the originals like Marbles and stuff, and Red Light, Green Light, I think. But they did they did Battleship. They did a version of that. And if you lose like 2 ships, then your whole team is gone. And so like each person would be like on the ship. And so like they did it that way. They did something. So like the video that I watched, they're like, oh, one game you could do is you could do a version of like Mafia or those sorts of, or like Werewolf or whatever, those sorts of games where someone kills at night, etc. But they did a version like some sort of mental type thing where it was when they had down to like 4 or 5 people that they'd pick one person at random and everyone had their eyes closed. And then that person would then go pick someone else who had their eyes closed, kind of like a heads up 7-up type game. And then everyone would open their eyes and the person who was selected would then have to guess who selected them. And if they guessed right, the one who selected them died.
Yep.
And if they guessed wrong, they died.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think that's a really smart strategy game, and it would be cool to see some of these type strategy games and not just like Red Rover, which would also be a good game. Like a team one.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean that game you just described, it's just like Heads Up, 7 Up. That's a kids game that we all I played in school and
Yeah.
church events and everything. Because that's you have to think about these in the Korean version. As far as I know, they're children's games, right? So you have to think about what you did as a kid, and it was tag, it was Foursquare,
Or like the different
dodgeball.
versions of like King of the Hill, where you have a till and whoever can be at the top and push everyone else down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
King of the Hill would be good.
But yeah, to answer your question, I bet they have like a bigger roster of games, and they just every year decide what's the combination we're going to do.
Maybe the
I bet they start.
VIPs vote on it or pick them or something too.
I wouldn't be surprised if Red Light Green Light's the standard first game. Yeah. It's a good introductory game. You get rid of a bunch of players right away.
Right. Yep.
So we'll see. We don't have any information as of the recording of this. We don't have dates and information about the next USA games, but I'm sure they're probably actually working it now. I'm sure they're writing it as we're talking about this. Mm-hmm. And so we probably could see it within a year from this date, or a year and a half or something like that.
Well, it'll be at least 2 years. I'm confident.
Yeah. Well, in some of the Korean casts,
you heard it here first.
Netflix is stupid. They have like a cash cow with Stranger Things. Like, all right, we'll see you in 4 years.
Yeah. Some of the cast was like people who were famous in Korea. So I'm wondering like who are the big names we're gonna see? Mm-hmm. Like, will we see some of the Stranger Things cast in Squid Game? Could be.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Thanos is like an actual rapper, and the picture of him looks like very Michael Jackson-esque. Have you seen that?
Does he have a nose? Or someone else?
He does, unfortunately. I mean, just because that's
unfortunately,
because it doesn't look like. Yeah.
It's really sad. He does have a nose. It's poor soul. Some people are born that way.
Here, I'm going to send a picture to our group chat so you can see what I see. Do you see what I'm talking about? This is a little bit Michael Jackson-esque. That's Thanos in real life. I just sent it to you guys.
Thanos in real life.
Down to the gloves.
Oh, he's so cute.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Does remind me of Michael Jackson. Yep, the gloves, the glitter jacket.
There's a video going around of some of the cast singing one of the songs that they had in one of the games, and it's Gi-hun, it's the old woman, and I think it's other girls in the show. I think it's like player 222 and I think guard 11. But okay, this may be the most racist thing I've said. Aside from
you have competition, so
with myself, yes. Aside from Gi-hun and the old woman, I have a hard time figuring out which girl is which.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It really helps when they wear a big number on their chest.
Yep.
Yeah, I was able to keep the spiritual lady, like I knew her.
Yeah.
But I think early on I did struggle with the mom versus or the pregnant lady versus the young me.
Yeah, yes. The one that the scared guy had a thing for, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Those two look.
No, actually, that's 3 different girls. The one that the scared girl, that was Sammy. She was 380, and then the other girl, young me, was she was friends with the transgender girl, and she was a different.
There was
number.
A third girl.
Which was the one that Michael marked with a Sharpie?
Oh, for a second there, it took me a second.
Huh?
Benny Hanna Christmas on The Office.
Oh, like, huh?
Man, whoosh. All right, well, I guess that's it, guys. If that reference going over both of your heads, like, we're out. Michael? We're done.
Hey, to be fair, I caught it. I didn't have to be explained to.
That's true, Alex. Get it together.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, that's it. That's Squid Game season 2 and 3. I think we got a lot of good stuff in about it. And we got some things that don't matter too, like our birth year for whatever reason.
Should we give an overall rating what we thought of season 2/3?
Yeah, 1 to 10. 10's the best. 1's the worst.
I would give it I would give it a 7. I enjoyed it. I feel like I enjoyed 3 more than 2. But if I think of it all together as one season, I would give it a 7.
Me too. I was actually thinking 7, but then
I took it first. Well, yeah, can't pick 7. 6 or
Well,
8.
7.5 then. No, I think 7 is a very good number for this because there are letdowns, there's missed opportunities, but it does more right than it does wrong.
Yep.
And it still was an interesting visit back into this place. Some interesting new games, some interesting new characters, maybe not as good as the season 1 characters, but there's still a lot of good here.
Agreed.
Oh, one more thing, just a musical motif. So at the very beginning of season 1, the very first episode of season 1, they're doing the flashback when it's black and white, and they show the kids playing Squid Game. He's saying like, "There's a game we used to play called Squid Game." There's a little tune that they're playing. It's called like Way Back Then, and they're playing it on a little recorder in that one. Flash forward to the series finale as like the island is exploding. That same tune is being played in like a rock version. So it's like they made it full circle.
Nice. Came back.
Everything comes back.
Yep.
All coming back. Death.
Death.
That's all I have. Unless you guys have anything else, we can jump into trivia.
Let's jump into trivia. Let's jump over the rope that is trivia and try and keep doing it until we break our legs and die.
Or until that one guy pushes us to our death when we get across.
What a jerk. Or until we're just like, I'm just my ankle hurts. I don't feel good. I'm going to jump off the cliff.
or until we stop on the bridge to take drugs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're not doing that anyway, what are you even doing here?
I mean, the one thing is, if he didn't do that, they all would have survived, except for the mom. I don't see
the mom.
I don't see how she could have made it. Even if she had 2 people there carrying her over, the coordination of 3 people hopping a jump rope like that, nope.
Oh, she got a flamingo debt. It's fine.
I honestly thought maybe she can like use her arms and like climb across, like if she's hung on the bottom and like just use her arms, but
Like a monkey.
like a monkey.
I mean, it breaks the nature of the game, but so what? They also enlisted a baby.
Just gotta
What
get
are you gonna
across.
All right, Brian, hit us with the trivia.
So last week we talked about an episode of House called 3 Stories, and I said one of the students that House is teaching was a 90s heartthrob, and you might not recognize the
Ryder
name.
Strong.
Close. He was on an episode of Boy Meets World, but it's Andrew Keegan, who was, you might know him from such shows as Boy Meets World, Full House, Step by Step, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, or my favorite, Seventh Heaven, when he had the most heavy-handed, okay, real quick, Seventh Heaven made every situation, like you misbehave, and it's like the worst thing that could ever happen is like every episode of that show.
Yeah.
His storyline was he thought he as a teenager had sex once, and because of that his girlfriend got pregnant, he got married, she died, now he's a teenage dad.
Okay, but did he get Jesse addicted to caffeine pills? Because that's the worst thing.
Yeah.
No, but there was a caffeine pill episode of Saved by the Bell. I mean, of Seventh Heaven and Saved by the Bell.
I remember that.
I was referencing the Saved by the Bell.
Yes, I know.
He was also in the movie Independence Day. Did you guys know that?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Was he the boy that was kind of trying to pressure her? Like, we're going to die anyway.
Yep, in the car. Yep.
What a jerk.
And then the brother comes and gets the girl out of there, and then he's left there. He's in it for like 7 seconds.
You know who's in it for more than 7 seconds? Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Hi,
boys! I'm back!
When you say guess who's in it for more than 7 seconds, I thought you were making a very different joke.
Come on, Brian. This is family friendly. We maybe encourage people to stab, but we don't make those sorts of innuendos. All right, what's our trivia today? And if it has to do with that 7-second joke, I'm going to slap you.
7 seconds.
Well, okay, I will say the Squid Game creator, who, if I'm reading for this name right, is Hwang Dong-yuk.
Well done.
He made a cameo in the final episode. So who was the creator? Ooh. I'm not going to say that name again.
Oh, what was his name?
You can hit the back button about 30 seconds and hear
me
try to explain
Let me try.
Name.
It's not doing it. How do you do this?
You know, I could just insert myself saying it, but I probably won't. Anyways, the creator of the show.
Or you could insert. Never mind. Never mind.
For more than 7 seconds, yes.
Yep, sure. All right. Well,
he had a cameo in the final episode. Who was that? Yeah,
just
that
the final
guy.
episode.
He was in the final episode. Cool. All right. He was the CGI baby.
He was the baby
the whole time.
No, the baby.
All right.
Was
Well, this is going off the rails, so we need to close out here. Until next time, I'm Matt.
I'm Brian.
I'm Alex.
And we're reminding you to stay tuned and keep watching.